Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention?
Oh, this is gonna be fun. We can stay up late, swapping manly stories, and in the morning, I'm making waffles.
Because people have got to know whether or not their president's a crook. Well, I'm not a crook.
I'm not going to give you a question.
Can you state category?
You are fake news.
Sir,
I can see Russia from my house.
Like drink box water bottles. So that
The proof is a proof. What kind of proof? It's a proof.
Repeated as World Series champions. Touch them all, Joe. You'll never hit a bigger home run in series. Toronto has won. El Presidente, El Perfecto.
Music, sports, politics, and other tomfoolery from a faith perspective. Hey, what's going on, people? My name is Bruce Mackay from the Palatial Studios in Belleville, Ontario. And joining me today on my 50th birthday, let me tell you, I am excited. Joining me today all the way from Calgary, Alberta, the new co-host of the Edge Radio Show and the host of our podcast, which doesn't even have a title yet, Mr. Stephen Jonathan Heidt. How are you, buddy?
I am doing excellent, Bruce. I am so excited to be one of many people to wish you happy 50th birthday.
How does that happen?
I don't know. I think it just takes about a little more than 49 years and you pull that thing off. So you should be good.
Well, thank you. I thought, you know what? I've been talking about doing some type of show. We've been doing the Edge Radio Show. And just for the people who are tuning in for the very first time, just to give a little bit of backstory, when I was 22, we got a church bulletin that came out. That's back when they used to have bulletins. Remember that?
I remember those. Yeah, they're paper, I think. Yeah, I remember them. Yeah.
So we had church bulletin. It came out that Youth for Christ was doing a radio show at Loyalist College. That's your alma mater, right?
Oh, yes. Yeah. Proudly. Lancer all the way.
So they wanted people to apply, and I applied back in 1993. How old were you in 93?
I was the ripe age of 14 at that point. So
I was 22. So
yeah, we're both born in the 70s. So I mean, we're just bookending it.
That's right. I'm at the front end. You're at the back end.
Having the tail end. Yeah.
So I applied to host the Edge Radio Show, and basically there was like 6 of us on the Edge, and we started doing this weekly music show, current events, all kinds of stuff. And one by one, everyone quit on me. everyone was gone. So I was like,
is that a you problem, or I don't know what's going on there, Bruce? But yeah,
I would probably say it was me. So I'm pretty sure it was me. So then what happened was I was doing it, and then in 2003, UCB came to Belleville. There was another radio station, and I actually started doing the Edge Radio Show on there. And then during that time, I remember getting phone calls from someone from some island way off in the middle of nowhere. And that person was Stephen Jonathan Heidt.
Yes, that was full disclosure, my father was the chair of the UCB board at that point. So,
okay, so you could do whatever you wanted, right?
Yeah, I could really I could do whatever I wanted whenever I wanted. So that's sort of been my theme in life, Bruce. So that's why I'm on this podcast with you here. So yeah.
Well, I remember back then that was, both my parents were living back in the day, and we played contemporary Christian music. We played the Newsboys. Was DC Talk back together then, or were they?
I feel like it was just called DC Newsboys, and they just kind of mashed them all together.
DC United or something.
Yeah, I don't remember. They were something.
So I remember back in the day, my parents would tune in, and they would, as soon as the music was done, then they'd put the volume up on the radio, and then as soon as the music came back on, they'd shut it down. So every Sunday night they would listen to us. And they just liked to hear our talking parts. They hated the music. And everywhere I go, I talk to people, and they're like, "We love you guys, but we hate the music."
Yeah. There you go. That's accurate. Maybe, I don't know.
I thought, well, I don't know how to take that. So then I remember when the correspondent from the island moved to Belleville, and you actually would come in on a Sunday night, fashionably late. Now, if I can recall. At the time, it was Bruce and Bob Morris No, I don't want to commit Bob yet, but
We're
I want to
working
get
on Bobby. We're working on Bobby. That's all.
We got to
saying.
get
That's
the
all I'm
band
saying.
back together. We're working on
I
it.
hear you.
So Bob and I would be recording our show. We'd be live on the show, and on the back where the radio station was, there was a fire escape, and you'd be on the back door banging on the door to get in. Remember that?
Yeah. I mean, I didn't even know Dad wouldn't give me a key, right? And so I had to do what I could to get into the building, and so any means necessary, right? So
Hootsley, I think, had you barred somehow, right? He wouldn't let you in.
Yeah, there were some security issues, but yeah, I mean, we made Sunday night, no one's watching, right? You can make your way there, so that was fine.
So that's the beginning of the show, and honestly, I've been doing the radio show now for. It's got to be, it's 27 years, 27, 28 years. And so I have a business coach, and I was going through some of my personal things I wanted to do. And I'm turning 50. I turned 50 today. And I said, what I want to do? I want to start a podcast. And who better to have me as my co-host on my very first podcast, but Steve and Jonathan Heidt.
Oh, I appreciate that, Bruce. That means a lot to me that you would think of me. So thank you.
Well, we're going to have some fun. We're going to, the things we're passionate about and that we want to talk about on our show. The podcast, which is yet to have a title. I don't even know if the Edge podcast is taken.
Yeah, I guess there's a thing called Google. We could Google it and we could find out if that was a thing.
Can I leave that with you? Can you check?
Yeah. I've heard of the internet, so I think I can. I'll talk to Al Gore and see if I can rig it up. So it should be fine.
So we want to get a title, but some of the things we want to talk about, music is the root. So we are going to talk about music and we're going to talk about sports. You heard by our intro, Canadian sports. We put the Calgary Flames in there. We're going to talk. How are the Flames doing these days?
I appreciate that. Well, we're just glad our building's empty. I think that's probably the best thing we can say about how we're doing now. Like they're, the Calgary faithful are going to be a little rough on our team. We're not doing well. So I'm glad that no one's watching right now. So, we still have our coach. So
you still have your coach, I think, right?
Yeah. That's yep. We still do. So
yeah. And Montreal does not. We've got Dom DeLuise. No, Dom.
I think so.
Dom Ducharme.
Oh yeah, I can't remember what show that guy was in, but I think I saw him in the 80s. And
that's it. So we're going to talk sports. We're going to talk politics too. Now, when we talk politics, I'm just telling you now, we will probably offend some people.
Yeah.
So,
sure.
Who is your MP where you're from?
We have a lovely lady, you may have heard of her, named Michelle Rempel.
Never heard of her. Never.
Yeah, so
she's quiet, I hear.
Yeah. We're a quiet lot here in Calgary, Alberta. We tend to not speak our mind to the governing party. So
and we've got a guy you've probably never heard of where I'm from. His name is Derek Sloan. So
yeah.
So he's pretty quiet too.
yeah, I think so.
Now Derek ran for the leadership and was not successful.
Right.
And he was actually just booted from caucus.
Yeah. So I think Michelle may have been doing some of that. So I apologize. That could have been our bad.
Actually, I just want to give you some behind the scenes look. I know why he got booted. I know the actual reason. He tried to recruit the leader, who is what's the leader's name of the conservative? Aaron O'Toole.
Oh, Aaron O'Toole. Yeah.
He tried to recruit him to actually sell Amway. He had a pyramid.
Oh, really?
And that doused him from the.
Maybe it was the other Aaron O'Toole. There's one in Arizona, I think. That's confusing. So maybe he got it. He got his emails mixed. My mom does that sometimes, so don't feel bad for him. Really.
Your mom sends it to the wrong person.
Well, yeah, like my wife Jenny, she'll send it to another person named Jenny, and get our family personal emails and stuff.
Oh.
People normally will tune her in to say Heather, this is not me. But they get a few emails to see the dirt on the family, and then they say, hey, you know what? Somebody else. So
years ago, back when the Belleville Bulls were still in town. Now we have the Belleville Senators. So,
which I don't know how many senators are from Belleville, but let's go with it. Okay?
And we actually, the Belleville Senators are not even playing in Belleville this season. They're playing at the Canadian Tire Center.
Yeah.
So the whole COVID thing, COVID.
I've heard of it. Yeah.
So back in the day, when Belleville was here, my wife gave me a call. We have family friends. Palmer and Michelle. You know Palmer and Michelle?
Oh yeah. No more.
My wife called me up and she said, hey, their kitchen is under renovation. Why don't you invite Michelle over and Palmer for supper tonight? I thought, not a problem. So I emailed. You know when you type in the email and then the email just completes itself?
Oh yeah, it's great.
Yeah. So instead of inviting Palmer and Michelle over, I invited this single lady who worked for the Belleville Bulls
Okay.
out
Cool.
for dinner.
Sure.
It was very awkward, and she got back in touch with me, and she goes, I don't know if you meant to invite me out for dinner tonight.
Well, I mean, it's a nice gesture, I guess. But yeah. I mean, sure Tina didn't love that.
Yeah, it was. And then she says, I'm busy, by the way. And I'm like, oh, thank heavens you're busy.
That's good. Yeah. That'd have been some explaining to do. So that's
I
good.
would have. So yeah, that was, when you do the wrong thing, I hate that when you fill out the email and you get the wrong person. So
Yeah,
anyway.
I blame the internet again for that one, because I think
Yeah.
that's probably to the root of it.
So the podcast, what we want to do is we want to. You got your dinger there? Is that your?
Oh yeah.
timer?
I guess I better click the old button there. Sorry, that's
The old airplane mode, eh?
That's how these things work. Yeah.
Some of the things we want to do, we want to talk about music. So some of the new releases, and one of my passions, and I'll talk about it all day long, is vinyl records and rediscovering the old vinyl. Do you have a record player yet?
I don't. My dad had one, but we had he bought a brand new $100 needle for it, and my mom sold it for $5 the next week at a yard sale. So sorry, Mom. My mom may come up a lot on this podcast, Bruce. I'm not gonna lie to you. She's
Okay, question. Are we going to tell your mother that there is a podcast?
No, I'm not. I'm gonna just let her discover it on her own. That's how I've done everything in life with my mom. So she'll find me. She always does. That's how I moved to Calgary and didn't tell her for weeks. And then she finally figured it out.
This is probably truth too. No. So we want to talk about music. We want to talk about sports, things that's going on in the sports world, and we want to have guests on too. So part of my thing and part of where my dream and my vision is having actual guests and sports guests on, and we will ask them about politics. We will ask them about music. We will ask them about sports things from their perspective. We don't want to just interview like, how was the game? All of that. No, we want to talk to them and get, we want to talk politics. How cool would it be to have like an athlete on and ask him about his music collection and politics and get him in trouble?
Yeah, I like that a lot better than we're just gonna get pucks deep and we're gonna chase and we're gonna compete hard, right? We want to get actual
cliche, right?
Yeah, exactly. We want some good stuff here.
So and the other thing that when I'm looking at podcasts, the thing I get thinking about is, when you sign up and it's like, oh, great, this sounds awesome. And it's like an hour and 45 minutes for the first episode. Like, who has time for that garbage, right?
Yeah, I do the old double speed, and I don't know how we sound in double speed, but that tends to be if I got to get through it in a hurry. All my YouTubes, they're all. I wish they had 4x, because I would go for that. But yeah, I get you.
Yeah. So ideally it's 20 to 25 minutes. We want to talk about current events. We want to talk everything from a faith perspective too. And we'll get into a little trouble from time to time in that.
That's my favorite part. I'm looking forward to that.
So today I went out, I took my daughter. We ended up going to there's a birdhouse store in Brighton. You ever been to Brighton before?
As little as possible. Yeah, I've been to Brighton. Yeah. It's like Trenton Light, isn't it? Isn't that the official term of Brighton? Yeah,
pretty much it. Yeah. So I decided, my youngest daughter, she's turning 13 this year. And I just want, and as your kids get older, tell the listeners about the ages of your kids.
I have 4 lovely children that are 7, 5, 3, and 1. So they're
and when I'm talking to you now, like, it is really quiet, Steve.
Yeah, I don't know really. I think they're inside the home somewhere here, but Calgary's a very safe city, so I'm sure they're fine. They'll be great.
The last time we talked over the phone, and it was pretty loud. It was
right.
It was like full of life in the household. So
yes, always, yeah.
So that's awesome. So 7 right through to what age?
7, 5, 3, and 1. I think the 5-year-old just turned 6, so it gets blurry for me. It really does. I have to. There's an app. I'm sure I can find out, but yeah, I think that's how it works. But
well, my youngest today, I'm just trying to spend one-on-one time. She's 12 and she loves bird watching, so we're right into birds.
Oh,
and
okay.
So there's a bird store up in Brighton. So it's a 25-minute drive. We get in the car, and then she's on her phone and just whatever. And we're talking, we get up there, and I was going for a bag of peanuts and a bag of bird food. That was it. $20 in and out.
Yep.
$225 later, I
What
come
did
back.
you buy?
I don't know. It's got this.
Was it like a Costco size? Like
It was like it was supposedly a squirrel proof bird feeder, and then she had her eye on this red bird feeder, and it was
okay.
and what am I to say? So I bought it.
Probably no, but I mean, I guess you said yes. Okay, all right, yeah.
So
Wow.
I spent all this money, and then I'm spending one-on-one time.
Right.
And as we're coming back, we decided to go. I said, let's go to Tim Hortons.
Oh,
And
good
so we
man.
went into Tim Hortons to get a beverage, went through the drive-through. They get it, and she got an ice cap, one of those cold drinks, and I got one too. And I take off the straw, the paper, and I go to put the straw in my mouth, and it's a paper straw.
Oh no.
I know. This is like, that feeling when you're just prepared for something, like the hard, cold plastic.
Yeah.
And it's like this paper straw. Now, I'm not an environmentalist guy like that. What's your view on paper straw, Steve?
Oh, terrible for A&W. A&W has lost my business the second they went to those paper straw things. There's no more. I would used to put Tim straws. I like the red. Put a couple Tim straws in my car for anytime I want to go to A&W, so I don't have to deal with their paper straw. So, I mean, that's what you do in life.
So where are you going to go now? So you've got A&W's to the paper.
Yeah. Thankfully, straws are made out of oil, so I should be fine out here for a little while longer. I think we're probably going to be fine. So we're the only ones.
Well, so when we did it, and my question is, like, they always go on about, they're changing it because they don't want you to throw your paper straws into the ocean, or they don't want their plastic straws in the ocean. So like, the ocean out in Calgary and the ocean here in the Quinte region, where do you throw your actual straws? Like your plastic straws, normally, where would you throw them?
I normally, I would throw them in the recycling. I have no idea if they're supposed to go in there, but I mean, you got to pay for garbage, right? So I mean, they go in the recycling. But like if I put something, if it ends up in the river here, like, in 14 years, when it makes it all the way downhill from Calgary to the St. Lawrence, like, or Lake Winnipeg, I don't even know where it ends up. Probably Hudson, like, get to the ocean. How on earth do I get it from the mountains of the ocean?
So these are biodegradable now, these paper things. So I would never, but the plastic ones, I never throw them in the garbage either. Like I wouldn't throw them in the ocean. I'd throw them recycling or garbage. I wouldn't just, I'm not going to throw them to the turtles. But now I kind of feel like the paper ones are giving me full license to, you know what? I can just throw them right in the water because they're going to degrade.
Totally.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's like when you go to the movie theater and you get your garbage and your popcorn, and when you, instead of throwing it in the garbage, it's like you pay so much, you feel like, you know what? I'm dropping it on the ground.
Totally. Yeah. I make sure that I get the kids to scatter it around there just to make sure that it's easily found. How else would you know how to get out of the movie theater without the crunch of the popcorn, right? And how do you get the popcorn to stick to your feet, without a little bit of pop there? Yeah.
Mercy. Well, anyway, paper straws, I'm not sure what to do about it, but anyway. So what we're going to be doing in future weeks, we're going to be talking about, as I say, politics, sports, and music from a faith perspective, and having lots of fun. We will be having live guests on the show, and what's your vision for the program? And while you're doing that, I'm actually going to have a beverage. So this is a watermelon water from PC.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So people, when they see the blue, they think I don't want them to think it's beer.
Right. Yes. Thank you.
Yeah.
Conservative Baptist upbringing.
Yeah.
That's a real value of that one. Yeah, Jenny got me on the peach one. So
oh, really?
The peach one. Yeah. So it's pretty good. But I mean, I think, I just think we just live in a bit of a world where often you never get opinions. You never get people to kind of vent on how they actually feel about stuff. And so I think if we could find a place where we're like, how on earth would I find someone that has an opinion? Now, also that we put our name behind it, right? Like Smelly Kitty 14 that's on everyone's Facebook, like that, like I shockingly, I don't care what their opinion is. And so I'm more than happy to let my name stand for the opinions I have. And I actually like to be wrong. So I'm yeah, like, or whatever it is, right? You know, they just like someone that I think I passed in the hallway in high school, but yet you really have an opinion on what I'm doing this week. You know? So, I mean, that's
what you want to do. We just want to have an opinion because there's a void out there.
Yeah. Like I feel like there's no real sort of dividing line in the world. You know, everyone sort of feels the same way. And so I figure we should put an opinion out there and see if people like it or not. I think that'll be fun.
You know what we really want to do, and my heart and all this, other than having fun with you, my friend.
Right.
That's the main thing. No, it's really to bring a light in people's weeks and just to kind of talk about current events, talk about faith, talk about sports, talk about politics. And you know, some people will get in trouble with politics. I know we will.
Yeah.
You know, and we'll talk about the Donald. We'll talk about whatever. We'll have some fun with it. And you know, what else? You know, we're going to get in trouble. Someone from Michelle Rempel's riding and someone from Derek Sloan's riding. I mean,
yeah, we can't help ourselves in some ways. Yeah.
That's good.
That'll happen.
Well, that's good. Well, listen, I don't know what else we want to talk about today, but other than just, we do have to come up with a name. You Google it right now while we're on the air.
Okay.
Can you Google it, or will you?
Yeah. I've got a computer.
Will you lose your camera?
Oh, I don't know what'll happen, but I know you're back there. So
I'm here.
Yeah, the Edge podcast. Is that?
Yeah,
is
see if that's taken. If it's not, we'll book it.
Oh, I put the Edge podcast. So we're gonna find out if the Edge podcast is in here. Looks like the Houston Astros have a.
Oh, you're kidding me.
I'm really upset
they're
about
stealing
that
signs down there. They're still, you know.
Yeah, they're stealing everything else. They're stealing championships, so they might as well steal the name of a podcast, right? Why not?
Well, we got one of their best players, though. George Springer has come north of the border.
I'm looking forward to that.
Although I'm not quite sure if the Toronto Blue Jays will actually be north of the border.
Yeah. I mean, I'm excited for the Dunedin Blue Jays or whatever we're calling ourselves.
And I think they're going to move to Buffalo after that for a bit, I think. But
oh well, I'll pray for them.
That'll
be a blast.
I don't know if you can see it. That back in the back there from Buffalo is all of the cardboard cutouts.
Do you mail that back to Buffalo now for this season? Or
you know what? That would actually be good. I should do that. Say, would you want them back?
Yeah, I don't know that you could drive them there. Maybe you could just sort of toss them across the falls. Like get them floating and see if they'll land on the American side and see if someone will pick them up.
That sounds good. Well, we'll work on it. We'll work on a podcast name. We are going to still be co-hosting together the Edge Radio Show, which is Tuesday nights on CJLX. So if you can't get enough of this on the podcast, you can dial in at Tuesday nights from 8 till 9 on CJLX.fm online, and you can hear some Christian music. And what else you got for me, Stevie?
Well, no, I'm just I'm still reeling with the fact that you're 50 years old. I mean, I guess you're drinking watermelon juice now, so I guess that's.
So if I was drinking something else, this is watermelon PC, the blue stuff.
Yeah.
And
like if
I like carbonation.
Yeah, if you were just like, you know, you got a 6-pack of Coke over there, and you're
I got no Coke. I'm not. I used to be a Diet Coke person, and not even that anymore.
Really? Eh?
Okay. No beverages like that. It's watermelon PC water and decaf coffee. It's
wow.
It's a boring existence.
Yeah, that's 50, I guess. Eh? Okay. Now, do you only go to restaurants where they put the carafe of coffee right at your table? Is that sort of?
I don't even go to When was the last time you've been to a restaurant during COVID?
I think I went to one. Ooh, you know what? I think it probably was back in November.
Really?
Probably right before we had our big shutdown.
Okay. Well, we've been shut down twice, and we've been told that there's probably another one coming. Right. But you know what? I went twice up to Springbrook. I went for a little cafe there with my son. I went to a restaurant, dined in. I went to another restaurant and dined in with a business guy, and that's it. Twice in a year I've been out to a restaurant.
I guess it's good in Springbrook because you would be the only one there, right? So you don't have to social distance when it's just you two and the waitress, right? So that's kind of a nice thing. I don't really have that luxury in Calgary. I can try and find a place where it's just me. I mean, I can maybe drive, to where could I go? I need a Lamab equivalent in out here, so I'll see what I can do. There's some small places in Alberta.
Oh, well, listen, this is going to bring the end of our first ever podcast, Stevie.
Wow.
And I don't know, the time went quick.
It did. It's amazing.
It's about 25 minutes. And if you are listening in double speed, it's 12 and a half.
Yeah. You're whipping through this bad boy. Yep.
Well, we have got we're going to have a weekly show. We will check in with you next week. 50 years. We are going to broadcast this for another 50 years. No,
I'm looking on your 100th birthday. We'll be blowing it out. I'll tell you that.
We will definitely. Well, for the Edge podcast or whatever we're going to call it, my name is Bruce Mackay.
I'm Steve Heidt.
Thanks for tuning in, folks. We'll see you next week.